Star Wars Battlefront II is genuinely one of my favorite multiplayer games, and in this video I went for the Platinum Trophy. Now this game has recently been blowing up again, seeing new peaks in concurrent players, so I thought what better time to go for the Platinum than right now. The base game has a total of 41 trophies including the Platinum. On top of that, the Resurgence story DLC added 3 more trophies, bringing the total to 44. Overall, this game is rated at a 5 out of 10 in difficulty, with an estimated time of 60 hours needed to earn the Platinum. The trophy list itself we can split into 3 main categories: the campaign, arcade and multiplayer. The campaign consists of 17 trophies, then there's 2 in the arcade and the other 21 are in multiplayer. Now the thing is, I may have a little bit of a confession to make. I already played this game a lot back when it released on PlayStation, before I then moved on to PC and played it even more. So I've already racked up 30 out of 41 trophies. The campaign has 1 trophy per chapter, with 13 chapters total. There are also 4 miscellaneous trophies. I had already completed the campaign and unlocked 2 trophies for shocking 3 enemies at once with a droid, and for eliminating 5 enemies within the 3 shots you get with a barrage weapon. Then there's the arcade mode, which has 2 trophies. 1 for just engaging in any arcade game, and 1 for completing all the unique battle scenarios on any difficulty. I obtained both of these back in 2017. Now on to what is the biggest grind for this Platinum: the multiplayer. This is where you'll spend most of your time if you decide to go for this. Here I had 13 out of the 21 trophies. I had already won a match in each of the game modes: Starfighter Assault, Blast, Strike, Galactic Assault and Heroes vs Villains. So that was already 6 trophies. I've also completed 25 multiplayer milestones, which is just a bunch of random challenges. And when I started again, I was level 36, so I'd already unlocked the trophy for reaching rank 25. Out of the class specific trophies, I had boosted 100 allies with an officer, and I gotten 25 headshots with a sniper. I've also gotten the first kill in a match, played as all launch heroes, and defeated 500 enemies as a hero on any multiplayer map. The first 2 trophies I went for was the class specific trophies for the heavy and the assault class. I started with getting 150 eliminations with heavy sentry gun. From experience, I thought the best strat for this trophy was just to jump into co-op and start blasting. So that's what I did, and after a little while, the trophy popped. Then it was on to the assault class, where I had to defeat 3 enemies within 1 use of the Vanguard 5 times. Vanguard is the shotgun you get when you press L1 R1, and this one is pretty easy to get in co-op as well. After I had popped these 2, I moved on to the campaign. The first trophy I was missing was for taking out a scout trooper with a melee takedown. For this trophy you just have to go into the mission The Storm, and after some loading, cutscenes, and running past some stormtroopers, I got to this part, where I had to wait for these dudes to walk past. Then I snuck up on this scout guy standing over here, and after introducing him to the ground, the trophy popped. After dropping that scout trooper, the next trophy I went for was X-Wing vs TIE Fighter, where I had to destroy 8 TIE Fighters in the skies of Jakku. So I jumped straight into the mission, the Battle of Jakku. Now when I had loaded into the mission, there was already a bunch of TIE Fighters flying all around me. So I just started blasting, and I took out 8 of them, and then the trophy popped. After clearing out the campaign trophies, I moved on to one of my favorite game modes, which is Heroes vs Villains. This game mode is basically a 4v4, and the first team to get 35 kills wins. And for this trophy I had to get 50 eliminations in this mode. So I jumped straight into the mode, and I mostly used my 2 favorites, which is Anakin and Kylo Ren. For this trophy I just played and had fun, and after a couple of matches, in this one, after brutally murdering Luke Skywalker, the trophy popped. After playing that wonderful game mode, it was now onto what I would call hell. Starfighter Assault. Now, jokes aside, this game mode actually grew on me after a while. But the first trophy I went for was to defeat 50 enemies using dual proton torpedoes with the bomber ship class. Now what I did and what I recommend you do for this trophy is to go for the AI ships. At first I thought I had to get close to them and shoot at them to see if they had a name or not, but after a while I figured out that if they don't have this symbol over their head, that they're AI, so you can see that from pretty far away. And then there's also the ones that are part of the objective that has this big attack sign on them. You can also take out them. Now the dual proton torpedoes are not a one-shot, so I always try to damage the ships quite a bit before I shot them. And for a normal player they're pretty easy to dodge, so that's why I targeted AI. Now I'm gonna be completely honest, I was really bad at the start. I was so bad that the game decided to just make this sweat invisible so that I wouldn't go for him and get myself killed. Like, look at this. He ended the round on 186 eliminations. And I can't even blame the fact that he was invisible, because that was only the last 5 minutes. But then after a couple of rounds, while I was going for these AI ships, suddenly this trophy popped. I didn't know how far I was on that trophy, but I expected it to pop before the bomber ship one. But after that one popped, I just played a couple more games that felt like they took years. And then suddenly the trophy finally popped. After finally getting that trophy, I moved on to the interceptor ship to get 20 kill streaks. You get a kill streak when you have 2 kills, and AI also counts. So you just have to get 2 kills before you die, and then that's 1 out of 20. Back in the day, I must have played Interceptor whenever I played Starfighter Assault, because just 5 minutes later, I popped the trophy in the same match. After getting that trophy, I only had 2 left before the Platinum. These were defeat 25 hero ships with fighter class, and to reach rank 50. So I decided to start with 25 hero ships, because I was already playing Starfighter Assault. Now back in the day, I was so skilled that I actually had 1 before I started. So then I only had 24 left. My strat for this one was to just play the objective until someone got a hero ship. Because if I eliminated someone, then they would spawn back in and have a big revenge sign on me, and their teammates would have an avenge sign, so then they would possibly target me while I was going for a hero ship. When you just fly around, there's no way to really know who's a hero unless you like see the ship. So you have to look at the scoreboard, and when you see this symbol next to their name, that means they're in a hero ship. So when I saw someone have this symbol next to their name, I hunted them down. I flew around starting to shoot at people just looking for their name. And by doing this, I got all the way to 19 before I realized that it's a Sunday. So in a couple of hours double XP would end. And then if I got the 25 hero ships done, I would have to grind XP in the weekdays. So I decided that I should really jump into co-op and start grinding XP, and then do the hero ships in the weekdays. So I just started grinding co-op, playing the officer class until I had enough battle points for a hero. And the hero I started with was Andegande, because he's my favorite and I wanted to get him to level 25 to get purple cards. And after I got an Andegande to level 25, I switched over to who I think was the most broken for XP when I played on PC. And that was Finn. If you equip his 3 Deadeye cards, he's the most brain dead character you can get. If you activate it and hold the trigger, you just rack up a ton of kills. Especially if you combo it with Big Deal. His Big Deal ability also speeds up the cooldown on the other abilities. So sometimes if you use Big Deal and Deadeye at the same time, and then one of the Deadeye cards keeps the Deadeye going, because it extends the timer with every kill, then sometimes Big Deal was already off cooldown when Deadeye was over, so you could just speed up the cooldown on Deadeye again. Like, look at this here, this was my best match with Finn, and I got 190 eliminations, and I got 156,500 XP for this match. So after some hours of just grinding Finn in co-op, and I must admit, I got really bored of this strat. My Finn had reached level 94, and I finally reached rank 50. But the thing is, the trophy didn't pop, so I got really confused and scared. So then I tried restarting my game. But then, when I got into the game, it still didn't pop. So then I tried searching for a game. And then, when loading into the match, it thankfully popped. After I finished the game, I actually found out that this is a known bug. And all you have to do is just load into a new match. So if I had done my research, I could have saved myself a panic attack. And I could have gone to bed a couple minutes earlier. So the next morning I started grinding for the 25 hero ship kills again. And this Monday was thankfully a day off here in my country. And this day started off fantastic. Because in my first match of the day, which was only like 7 minutes, I actually managed to get 3 hero kills. So that got me to 22 out of 25. And then in my next match, which lasted 9 minutes, I managed to get 2 hero kills. So then I only had 1 left. So then I jumped into my next game, thinking this would be the one. And then a couple minutes into the match, I noticed this cookie guy was a hero. But then, 3 minutes into the match, someone stole him from me. And then, a minute later, I noticed that my guy John had decided to become a hero. So now he was my new prey. So I locked in, and I started chasing him. But then, he decided to crash into the ship. But then after a couple of failed attempts at taking out Slave 1, and this guy crashing into the ship as well, and also this guy, I noticed my man John was a hero again. So I locked in once more and tracked him down. And after a long chase, I finally did it. My last hero kill. And with that, also the platinum trophy. When I got the platinum, I ended at 197 hours. And I started at 177 with the trophies I had from before. So the trophies in this video took me 20 hours. I really love this game. Even after all these years, I think Battlefront II is still one of the best multiplayer games out there. And with so many players coming back recently, it honestly makes me very hopeful that we might finally get a Battlefront 3 someday, even though it might take years. But yeah, thanks for watching. Since this is my first video, I'm still getting used to this, so if you have any suggestions or feedback, feel free to leave it in the comments. Also, I'm sorry if my speaking doesn't sound like super natural. English is not my first language, so I'm just not used to talking a lot of it yet. And again, thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, feel free to leave a like or a comment. And may the force be with you.